The artist's simple sketches become evidence of how things were in the past. The canvas covered with centennial dust opens a page of amazing history, conveying the flavor of the era. This city has an almost human charm to everyone who set foot in it. Many have tried to find out what exactly makes it so fascinating. The ones who can answer this question are artists and writers. They keep values, traditions, and moods created over centuries alive. They remind us of what Paris used to be like and why many people were captivated by its natural bohemian spirit.
Paris has always been and remains the fashion capital of the world.
Paris and Parisian women, these were all the things that fascinated one local post-impressionistic artist. Leon Teitlin certainly created many portraits, but one of his works made an exciting journey all the way from Paris to Almaty.
Этот город совершенно очаровал Леона Цейтлина.
Leon Zeitlin dedicated his entire oeuvre to this famous city that captivated him.
И посвятил все свое творчество этому замечательному.
Its landscapes and residents, and above all, to the refined Parisian women, full of charm.
Полным очарования парижанка.
In the Dressing Room is the title of Leon Teitlin's work, which depicts the great couturier Christian Dior's most favorite model. She was not French though, her true origin was a mystery to everyone.
Ол кезде бүкіл Франция оны орыс Қытай деп айтқан.
Alla was often called Christian Dior's Russian Chinese woman. And now, after studying the documents and archives, it became clear that Alla was neither Russian nor Chinese.
Олар орыстың қызы деп айтып атқан жоқ. Қытайлар тіпті таласпайды. Алла ел үшін мысалы Қытайда дүниеге келсе де, ол Қытай тілін білмеген, Қытайға мүлдем қатысы жоқ. Тек сол жерде дүниеге келген.
Although China was her place of birth, she didn't live there and didn't even speak the language. Today, many people may already know that Alla Ilchun's father was a Kazakh. His name was Qazaqstan Yelchin. He came from a pretty rich family in Almaty. He went to St. Petersburg to study and pursue a career of an engineer.
Қытай қосылып, мына Харбинде темір жол салған кезде, Алланың әкесі сол жақта жұмыс бабыменен сол жаққа барады, сол үлкен магистралды пойыз жол салуға.
After that, he traveled to Harbin city to work on the Chinese Eastern Railway. Later, he met a girl named Tamara, who also lived in Harbin. According to some sources, her name could have been Tatiana, but in her official documents, it was written Tamara.
Сол жерде танысып, сол осы кезде бұлар отбасын құрып Қытайда жұмыс істеп жатқан кезде Жапон интервенциясы басталды, Харбин бомбаланды.
At a very young age, she had already achieved a status of a talented opera singer. She and Qazaqstan started a family and had a daughter, Alla. But during the Japanese intervention, Qazaqstan put his family on a ship that sailed to Europe to save them. Since then, all communication ceased, and information about Alla's father got completely lost.
Қалай қайтыс болғаны, тірі болды ма, өлі болды ма, ол туралы нақты анық деректер ол кезде болған жоқ.
Dior did not care about Alla's roots, she was his muse, his talisman. After all, the dresses she displayed ended up in the wardrobes of celebrities like Marlene Dietrich, Monarchy, and other socialites.
Они даже не хотели ждать
They were anxious. They couldn't wait for the couturier to make the same dress. Alla appeared on the runway in some outfit, and they wanted to have that exact outfit first thing in the morning. She was a legendary model.
Была легендарная модель.
Alla was fluent in 6 languages, so she could also discuss different designs and fashion trends in detail. Not only men, but women too went crazy for this mysterious woman of Asian looks. People openly envied her. Where else could you find an unusually looking model with a waistline of only 47 centimeters? She was often mentioned in the world fashion news of the mid-20th century. Many tried to imitate her. It was Alla who set the winged eyeliner trend in Europe.
Мысалға Кристиан Диордың басқа модельерлері
Among all Christian Dior's models, Alla Ilchun had a special place. She was unlike anyone else. With her natural beauty and refined sense of style, she brought upon new standards in fashion. Mysterious Asian eye shape, unusual and very daring winged eyeliner. When Alla walked on the runway, everything felt special.
ерекше жаңағы көңіл күй ерекше сипат беретін болған ғой.
So where did this extravagant, unmatched woman come from? Alla Ilchun's story is still vague, but we do know that she is the daughter of a Russian opera singer and a Kazakh engineer who ended up in France by a twist of fate.
Работала посудомойкой в ресторане.
Alla worked as a dishwasher in a restaurant and went to a model casting for Christian Dior by mere chance. Her friend asked to replace her. Alla immediately got the job, but she didn't recognize Christian Dior because there were only house painters in the room. She was astonished to find out that Mr. Dior was actually one of them. His financial situation at that time made him do hands-on work on his new fashion house.
Значит, доме моды.
Berlin Irishev, our compatriot and the leader of the Kazakh Association in France, collects information on the life of Dior's muse. This exciting story about Dior's muse reached us thanks to this man. After all, his accidental trip to an antique Parisian salon led to the reawakening of Leon Zeitlin's painting. Just as before, the city streets were full of French fashionistas. Glossy fashion magazines were thriving, and the mysterious Kazakh beauty Alla Ilchun was all the rage again. In 2019, Berlin Irishev published a book, The Dior Muse, the story of Alla Ilchun. It was presented in Kazakhstan, Russia, Great Britain, Germany, France, Senegal, and China. Later, he wrote the second book about her mysterious fate. And in 2020, the documentary Alla, the Oriental Pearl of Dior was screened. The film almost immediately received several prestigious awards at famous festivals such as New York International Film Awards, Honoris Film Awards, Crown International Awards, and World Distribution Awards. Alla Ilchun's story became an elegant connection between East and West, Kazakhstan and France. France, 1925. Music comes from the windows of a cozy Parisian house, music unknown to its inhabitants and passers-by. It was a piece that the Frenchman Mr. Pierno accidentally recorded on a phonograph. And not just one piece, but 7 songs performed by legendary Amriya Khashaubayev in Kazakh, accompanied by a Kazakh musical instrument, dombra.
салған белгі нәзік шіркін-ай талған ишау.
Half a century later, the story of Amriye and Paris at the beginning of the 20th century comes to life again, thanks to Jarqin Shakarim. Kazakh musicologist and researcher of the musician's creative work found a unique recording of Amriye Qashaubayev's voice. He wrote several books about this legendary singer's life and work. Finally, in 2016, Mr. Shakarim published a biography, Amriye in Paris, which served as a basis for a movie adaptation.
Әміре, мына Францияның, Европа елдерінің алға дамып кеткені соншалық.
When Amriye went to France, he recorded the songs on a phonograph, and thus his voice was captured. Jarqin Shakarim found these unique recordings.
Сонымен дауысы қалған. Сол әндерді біз Жарқын Шәкәрім оны мысалы Франция жазса.
If he hadn't done it, they would have only remained in French and Russian archives. Thanks to Mr. Shakarim, they became our national treasure.
Жата беріледі. Сол қазақтың ән өнеріне Жарқын Шәкәрім ағамыз өте бір үлкен.
The movie is about Amriye Qashaubayev's trip to Paris to participate in a concert at the World Exhibition of Modern Decorative and Industrial Arts in 1925. It portrays how this Kazakh folk singer's unparalleled talent and magical voice conquered the sophisticated European crowd. They compared him to the legendary Enrico Caruso and Mario Lanza. He was admired by Nobel laureate Romain Rolland and was invited to go on tour around Great Britain and Germany. But upon the return to his homeland, a different fate awaited him. Interrogation, torture, humiliation, and a mysterious demise.
Этот фильм вообще был полностью это одна большая сложность. Мне кажется, что это некий.
This movie in general was very challenging to make. Every step of the filming process was like walking on thin ice. There were some internal disagreements, complications on the set, and other obstacles. Post-production, editing and sound design were all difficult. This movie evokes huge pain within me, but this entire process reflected only a tiny fraction of hardships that Amriye went through. I think Amriye's spirit helped us in some ways and showed how difficult his journey had been. Cinema is the art that is easiest to understand. It transcends borders, impacting the world of our imagination. Cinema unites.
Senin için doğdum, şirkin ayı doğdum.